Want to learn how to shoot and edit creative portraits? Let's get to it. What's up everyone, my name is Sal Sincata. Today we're gonna do, it's a little two-step video. We're gonna shoot some creative portraits indoors. So we've got some cool furniture, we've got a cool wardrobe, and then most importantly, we're gonna finish this image. So I'm gonna edit for you in Evoto, and we're not just gonna do the beauty edit per se. What we're gonna also do is maybe tone and stylize this image, really to produce a quality final image for our clients. So let's get started. All right, so a couple of things. On camera, we're using the Canon EOS R5 and the 85mm f1.2. This, I think, is very important to understand. A lot of fashion / portrait photographers, they love shooting and stopping down. What does that mean? They want to shoot at f5.6, f8, right? f11 even. Why? Because that's going to give you as much detail. For me, when I'm working with clients, I actually want to do it the opposite. So I want to be at f1.2. If you don't have a lens that's that fast, maybe it's 1.8 or 2.0, even 2.8. And the reason for that is, right, it's driving you to your subject, right, the eyes, and it's softly blurring everything else around them. Your eye is gonna naturally go to a couple of things. Brightest part of an image and also the sharpest part of an image. Well, I want her face and eyes to be the sharpest part of this image. So that's why I shoot it that way. And it's gonna make sense in post-production as well, because now the skin is naturally going to be softer. Now, of course, we've got Brandy here, professional hair and makeup. We've got a model with great skin. I get it. You're gonna have clients that maybe don't have great skin and you gotta do a little bit more retouching. But if you're shooting wide open, you're softening that skin because the eye will be sharp, right? Hopefully the eye will be sharp, and then as they get further and further away from the eye, this stuff will start softening up naturally. So you won't have to use all sorts of post-production, right, to soften it up. It'll have a naturally soft look, and at f1.2, it's even better. And so what I'm doing here is, and we'll get to shooting here in a second, I'm just explaining everything to you, is I'm gonna get some full body portraits of Violet, and then I'm gonna get some mid shots and then some tight shots. So I personally just don't subscribe to a traditional headshot or beauty portrait. I know when I'm producing for my clients, I've got to give them plethora of shots, right, so that they can choose from it. All right, something else to consider. I'm not in here with strobes and all that other stuff. It's an overcast day. Yeah, we've got a lot of windows in this room, but it's not really hitting her. If I get rid of that reflector, she's in dark shadow. So now just using a silver reflector, pushing in some light, that's gonna give us the light we're looking for. If I were working with people of color or anyone who's just dark skinned, olive skinned, black, Hispanic, Indian, I'm not gonna use silver. It's actually not gonna look good on their skin. We can do a whole other video on that. Probably gonna use gold for warm tones. It just looks better on the skin. So just keep that in mind when you're using a reflector. All right, let's get to it here. Chin down for me, Violet, and chin just a little bit more left. A little bit more. Gorgeous, right there. Here we go, 1, 2. Love this, Violet. Also gonna make sure I work real hard on getting both horizontal and vertical. Can you break that wrist maybe a little bit on that right hand? Do me a favor, this hand, just curl in more so it gets closer to your frame. This elbow, curl it in more so that hand gets closer to your frame. I like that. Looking at that reflector, gorgeous. I like the hair split, good. Hands look good, good. Chin out and down, gorgeous. Yeah, I love that look on you, Violet, stunning. Looking towards that light, Violet, yep. Beautiful. Square up to me with your face, right there. Chin back this way just a dinch. Yeah, I like that, Violet, beautiful. So just so you guys can see what it's looking like with and without reflector. So this is without, she's getting some light, but the same light hitting her face, her body, her legs, it's all kind of the same. It's big open shade in here. But the minute we put this here on her, her eyes now pop, right? We don't have flash in here. It's just a little bit of pop in her eyes and skin tone right around her face. I think that looks so much better than just shooting natural or available light. We are using available light, but we're altering it a little bit just by using a reflector. So sometimes just a simple reflector can change everything. All right, I got plenty of beautiful shots of Violet without really moving her all over the place. You can do this for some of your lifestyle shoots, commercial shoots with clients, right? Take that headshot to that next level. But now let's go edit it in Evoto. All right, so let's start editing this image. Now, a couple of things. I'm gonna use Evoto for this, and I'm gonna show you two things. How I would edit an image, so I picked one of my favorite images from the set, but not only that, how I would stylize it using Evoto. So two things before we get started. First of all, full transparency. I do not care what you think about my editing. And I say that because you know how this works. If you're a photographer, somebody's always got something to say about how you edit. Too much editing, not enough editing. Here's the thing, not only don't I care what you think, I don't think you should care what anybody else thinks. The only people you should care what they think are your customers, because ultimately that's what matters, right? Do my customers like it? Editing is one of those things, I've been saying it for years, season to taste. You do what makes sense for your brand. Now I will tell you, everything you do should match your brand, right? So whatever editing or stylizing you do or skin retouching you do, just make sure it matches your brand. I think that's the most important part, not what Susie in Colorado through an anonymous Facebook account has to say about your editing. Susie's useless to you, right? Useless to me. So take that to heart. So with that being said, let's dive into this. Here's one of my favorite images from here, right? So we're in Evoto. So we're gonna go into the portrait editing panel here on the right. And so I'm gonna zoom in. When I'm doing this work, you know, this is straight out of camera. So this is great. It's been color corrected and that's about it. So no retouching's been done. This is the power of having a professional hair and makeup artist with you, right? And of course, somebody with good skin, but good hair and makeup, good optics on your camera, shooting at a shallow depth of field, you're already eons ahead of what everybody else is gonna look like. But this has not been touched, as hard as that might be to believe. So now I'm gonna go in and just go panel by panel. Every image is different. You know, at this point, I probably couldn't come up with a preset that I would use, but I really like to look at each person's features and the scene, and it'll make sense, right? So this one, freckles and acne, I crank to 100 almost every single time. Unless somebody really does have like, you know, true freckles, well then I wouldn't wanna remove that. I'd probably just remove the acne. But the tool actually does a really good job if it sees something that's like maybe a beauty mark or sunspot, might not get picked up on the acne. The freckle one picks it up, I think, quite well. And reduce face shine. Again, professional hair and makeup, there's almost minimal face shine. Now, eye bags, all of us have, right? Including myself. So almost every client wants this completely cranked up, as well as there's another eye feature here, dark circles. We'll remove that too. So we're just gonna go down here. Again, we're looking at her. She has no real forehead wrinkles, no 11 lines, no eye. The eye wrinkles I tend to leave. I think that just looks a little bit more natural. You don't want to have a 50-year-old client and then there's just no wrinkles whatsoever, right? Then it just doesn't look realistic. So as we keep going through here, now body refinement I think is important, right? Because a lot of times you will see, even if there were no retouching, a client's face is like, boom, perfect, right? They've applied their makeup absolutely perfectly, but there's no body work that's been done, right? So like, sometimes their face is a different color than their chest or arms, right? It just doesn't look right. Well, I'm less worried in this particular shot with Violet about a difference in color, but I do see blemishes there. Some are freckles, some are probably sunspots, whatever the case may be. So I wanna remove those body blemishes, and you see we just crank that to about 58, and it just kind of matches the face a little bit more. No real neck wrinkles, but we'll get rid of a little bit of it, no armpit, right? So we've not retouched, right, the skin. We've done no skin resoftening. What you are seeing is fully tied to good hair and makeup. And the reason I highlight that is because I will post this stuff and people will be like, she looks fake. What do you want me to do? Like this, literally, good hair and makeup, shallow depth of field, you're good skin, this is what you're seeing. Right? You're seeing it before your very eyes. Skin retouching, very rarely will I add this unless somebody really has some bad skin. So here, let me show you a couple of things. One, I do like the dodging and burning, the sculpting, right? This is something that I used to do in Photoshop, and it would take me a while. So I'd enhance the highlights, enhance the shadow detail, and that will sculpt their face. And you could see here, if I really crank this up, it is subtle, right? But once you see it, you can't unsee it. By the way, women do this with makeup. When they're applying their makeup and highlighter, this is how they're sculpting their face to do this in real life with makeup, okay? So keep that in mind. Now, textured smoothing, I'm just gonna zoom in here and show you a little bit of stuff, right? So I'm gonna crank everything up. Textured smoothing, frequency separation, right? You're seeing a little bit more skin detail there. So if I were gonna do skin softening, it would be through frequency separation. That would be the way I would do it. I'm just gonna add it here a little bit, but the truth is Violet really doesn't need it. Now, body skin, zoom out here for you. We've got the same option, right? So frequency separation, come down on that a little bit. You just really don't need it. I don't want to lose detail in here, okay? So this is in a good place so far. Okay, skin texture, not really messing with that. No skin toning. Now facial reshaping. This one I typically come in here for almost every particular client. One of the things I like to do is eyes. I just like to make them a little bit bigger, right? So just a little bit bigger. A lot of things happen with your cameras and the distance from the lens where certain features just don't pop as much, and I really like to touch eyes and lips. I'll make lips a little bit fuller, okay? Again, every client's different. You got to figure out what works per client. And teeth, they've got some great teeth whitening here. So we can add some of that. It's not bad, but people naturally have some white unless they've invested in veneers, or some yellow unless they've invested in veneers or something to that effect. Let's go to the eyes now. This is another place I really like to brighten these up, right? So this is my season to taste here. So I really like to brighten those up so they pop, and then add the iris flare, eye reflection. Everything else is just kind of where it should be. If you look at that before and after, it just makes her eyes really pop, especially from a distance. It's like really driving us to her face if you keep looking at this on and off. If they have red vein removal, this is a great tool. This works incredibly well. Violet doesn't have any of that, all right? So now what we can do if we go into makeup, I really do like doing this. Eye makeup, adding a little bit more. See how we just, she's got professional hair and makeup, but I want to enhance this a little bit. You'll find that with photography and editing, or lighting, I should say, sometimes lighting, if you're using strobes, can really wash out the image. So I like to enhance the eye makeup a little bit. I like to do a little bit more contouring here. Lips, sometimes I add a little bit more, just so we got some color pop there. I really like the way that's looking. These are just subtle adjustments that start adding to it. So hair, we can do, add some hair volume. We don't need that on her. We can fill it, we can lift her hairline. We also don't need that. We can do some stray hair removal. This tool is, it just depends on the background. Like watch, I'm gonna crank this to 100. Does a really good job. I mean, this is, if you've ever been around editing, I've been editing for a long time, and you were to go into Photoshop, you never get it to look right. Now, to me, this is too much. It starts up in here, makes her look like she's got a helmet head, right? It's just not, it's too perfect. And that's just not how hair looks for the most part. So I want a little bit of the frizzies. I might remove just a little bit of it, right? So if we it's just very little that I would remove. Now smooth hair, I really like this. Let me zoom out so you see that, come back down. So the smooth hair feature, that's a newer one. I really like the way that looks. Hair shine, look at that. I mean, that's just like you would do some dodging and burning work in their hair. It's really good beauty work there. So now if we go down here, if we wanted to do any full body reshaping, I have found that, remember, camera can add weight to people, and then you have people who are fuller figured, right? But if I wanted to do this, I tend to use the AI reshaping because it's a little bit more global in nature, so it evens everything out, right? The last thing you want to do for body reshaping is make someone's arms thinner, but then the rest of their body is bigger, right? It doesn't make any sense, right? So overall, I really like this tool. It's very subtle, if you just look at that, it's just very subtle. So I like that. And then honestly, this would be all I would do here. Now you can adjust the body parts like neck, arms, chest, waist, right? If we wanted to snatch her waist in a little bit, just because of the way she's sitting, right? So it does a really good job. So that's your before and after, but the image isn't stylized yet, right? So again, season to taste. You've got to figure out what looks good for you, for your clients, and I think that's critical in creating your own style, if you will, for your brand, right? What's an image you're going to be proud to put out there with your name on it, right? I think that is very, very important to figure out when you're doing this. All right, so great. Now I can sync this across the whole job, right? So on the bottom of the screen, you see the whole job there. I can now sync this across, and she now looks the same in every picture. To me, this is critical. I watch people online complain about, well, the cost per image now, right? Because that's how these all softwares are moving to subscription models, and Evoto's getting a bad rap because they're charging, I think it's like 7 cents an image. But the truth is, if you've ever spent any time editing, 7 cents, and now I can sync 20 images to all look identical. If you go do this in Photoshop, this is what I just showed you is easily taking 5 minutes per image, maybe 10 minutes per image, right? Maybe you don't know what you're doing and you're moving a little slower. And then getting each image to have the same additional eye size or the same additional lips or teeth and all this other stuff, this just takes time. So say 10 minutes, and now I've got 20 images that I want to do. Do I want to spend, 20 images at 10 minutes, 200 minutes? Or do I want to pay 7 cents and be done in 5 minutes, right? And pay 7 cents times 20 images. You gotta be kidding, you gotta me. What is that? That's less than like $2 or something, right? So it never made any sense to me, right? You really have to value your time. All right, now let's get to the fun part here. So in Evoto, it's got this feature that I think a lot of people don't even realize is there. It's this AI color adjustment. This is an incredible way to stylize your images based on a color palette that you might see out there. So this image from Pinterest, right? So it's a Dunkirk color palette. You can go out there on Google and just Google, cinematic LUTs, things of that nature. So I took a screenshot of this, and now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say create color reference, upload the reference. I'm gonna upload this, and now that LUT, it creates a LUT in its own way and applies it to the image. Now, you might look at this image in and of itself as it stands right now and be like, well, that's ugly, right? Patience, grasshopper, right? Now let's dial back the amount here to right about there. I like that. Let's increase exposure just a hair, okay? And now let's go back in and apply the retouching. That is stunning, right? Before, after, before, after. Now, I don't know what you think. Maybe you don't like the preset I added. Maybe you do something different from a LUT perspective. Maybe you want to warm that up a little bit, right? And then go back and look. But you're seeing the flexibility in the tool and what it allows you to do. So now I've got a stylized image that is so much more than just sitting there as a color corrected image. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but today people are used to filters. They're used to different angles from their cameras. From their iPhones. You've got to find a way to add that little special something to your images that just allow it to stand out. Now, would I do that to every single image that I shot from that scene? Of course not. But man, do that to 1 or 2 images. Maybe that's what you're posting to social media. And I think it's easy, it's fast, and it's going to stand out. So just let your mind wrap around what I just showed you, where we can do that kind of color palette matching and really get a unique image just from Hollywood, cinema movies where they spend, hundreds of thousands of dollars creating these unique looks and applying it. Now you can get that in a few clicks. I mean, it just really stands out. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments if you like that process I showed you for applying a LUT, right? A lot of people don't know it's there, or if they know it's there, they don't even know how to use it. I think it really does stand out. We'll see you in the next video.